Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Today the video is all about Knight, and if you don't know who Knight is, this is him. I often refer to him as my big-headed butthead, and I also refer to him as my problem child, because that's exactly what he is. Knight is my first ever Aranda. I got him in April of 2017. I bought him at PetSmart, and he was not much bigger than the size of a $50. I actually have pictures of him when I first got him beside of a rock that is literally the size of a $50. And it's amazing how small he was and how much he's grown in the short time that I've had him. Just to give y'all an idea, here are some of his growth pics. So as you can see, Knight is a pretty big boy, and even though we have a love-hate relationship, I still think of him as my baby. He was the first Aranda I ever had, and now I have 5. So they aren't my favorite breed, but they're the one I have the most of. He does have the biggest personality of any of my fish, that is for sure. So the reason that I'm even doing a video today about Knight is because he is moving. He is currently in my 40-gallon breeder. He has not always been in my 40-gallon breeder. He was at one time in this tank behind me. He lived in that tank probably most of his life with me. However, he started bullying my Ryukin Josephine. Josephine, you can probably see her in there somewhere. I don't see her right now. She's probably on the other side behind me. But she got extremely stressed out, and I was very concerned that he was going to cause her to die. Essentially, he was so very pushy, and he didn't used to be that way, except when he began to get larger than her. He decided that he was going to be alpha male, and she was going to listen to whatever he said. So he oftentimes would push her into the filter intake and push her into decorations, and it was beginning to get pretty ridiculous. She was losing scales, and at times she would float. Even when he came near her, like upside down, like she was playing dead, literally. And you can see her there now, right there. So I ended up deciding that the best decision was to move him, and that's when he moved into my 40-gallon breeder. Josephine, Comet, and Lucy are the only fish that he's really been in contact with. And Malachi and Z came around about 3 months after him, and I was kind of concerned if they would get along, and I really just haven't tried it. Now, he's been in a tank here for a couple months, and he's really calmed down. I haven't really seen him be a butthead or, you know, be aggressive toward the fish that he's with. However, the fish that he's with, he's never been aggressive toward. When I got Comet and Lucy, I got them about 2 weeks after I got him, and he's been with them ever since. And they were very, very young. They were just babies when I got them, and he's pretty much grown up with them, and I think that's why. They're still pretty small compared to him, and I think he knows that they're babies, and he really doesn't want to push them around. So I'm hoping that now that, you know, we've kind of had this long time out period, that I can put him back in the big aquarium and he'll do much better. That's not, however, the real reason that I'm moving him. Knight is getting very large, and he is not slowing down in growth whatsoever, especially if you saw those photos at the beginning of the video. He is going to outgrow this 40 with the other two fish probably very quickly. And I think the tank behind me is just better for him in general. He has more swim room and such. But Josephine, like I said, is the Ryukin, one of my two Ryukins. And she, since I've got her, this month will be her 1 year anniversary. I've had her 1 year this month. And she, over time, you know, with her growing and whatnot, she has developed floatiness. And I believe that she has swim bladder disease or swim bladder defect. I believe that she was born with it, and the bigger she got, the harder it is for her to swim upright. With that tank being taller than most of my other tanks, I think the pressure keeps her from doing better. And Lucy, as I've talked about before, is my short-tail Ryukin, and she was originally in there as well, but when I moved her to the 40-gallon breeder, she swam much better, and she has not got the floatiness anymore. And I think if I do that with Josephine, I will see similar results. So that is the purpose of moving them. Not only do they not get along, but if I were, you know, if I were to move Knight in that tank, I would have to move somebody else. And the reason being is I don't want more than 4 fish in that aquarium right now. They're pretty big fish. They're not like the butterfly tank. They're pretty large fish, and I'm not gonna overwhelm my filtration system, and also it's just gonna cause more problems for me. So I decided I was gonna switch Josephine and Knight and see how they do. I'm not concerned about Josephine. I think she will do very, very well in the tank. I am more concerned about Knight and how he responds to the other fish. Z,
my blue Aranda,
is in there, and I've never seen him be aggressive, so I hope that he doesn't change that, and I hope that Knight doesn't make him aggressive. Eli is also in there, my male fantail, and he's not aggressive at all generally, so hopefully that won't change either. But the one that I'm concerned about is my precious Malachi, and Malachi is a female, and if I were to put Knight in that tank, she would be the only female, and I'm afraid that that may cause some issues with breeding activity and so on. But I don't really know, because, you know, when it comes to Knight, he is so unpredictable. I don't know if he would like her. I don't know if he would leave her alone. I have no idea. I just have to put him in there and see. However, if that is the case, I will watch him very, very carefully throughout the day. And if that is the case, then I have decided that I would move Malachi into the 40-gallon breeder, and I would switch her with Comet, who is Knight's buddy. He is also an Aranda, and they get along beautifully. And if that were the case, then I would switch them, and everything should be just dandy. So we're gonna hope that I don't have to move anybody besides Josephine and Knight, but we'll see what happens. First, today is Wednesday, which means that the 40-gallon breeder gets a water change today. So I have to do that first, and we'll get busy. So it's pretty much filled up, almost, and I'm going to go ahead and catch him and release him all the way over here. When I release him, I'm going to catch her, and put her back over there. So let's see how easily I can do this. So he's in, and he's been in just like 20 seconds at the most. He's breathing a little heavy, but that's pretty usual. I'm just gonna give him a few minutes to settle in. He hasn't checked any of the fish out yet, so waiting on that. They're like schooling. That's so funny. He's already the head honcho, huh? I thought that Z might actually be slightly bigger than him, but that looks like I'm wrong. He's slightly smaller than him, actually. There's Eli checking him out. There's the one I'm worried about. Malachi, my little calico. Well, he's not little anymore, but I'm a little concerned if they're going to bully her. But so far, he's not doing anything, so maybe that's a good sign. I think Eli's taking a liking to him. He's like, you're new. I don't know if I like you or not. So let's give them a while. So far they're doing okay. Here's my sweet Malachi. She might have some eggs in there, come to think of it. She looks a little swollen. I wonder if she does. Huh, interesting. I think Eli's gonna pester him. Don't worry, in a few minutes, once he get used to the tank, he'll put Eli in his place, I'm sure. So let's give him a bit. So it's been a few hours and it didn't work. I ended up having to move Night back to the 40 breeder. Eli tortured him and he was getting extremely stressed out, and I did not think that it was worth it for me to put him under any more stress, so I just put him back. He wasn't even the problem, which is surprising because he is always the problem child, but apparently Eli has taken that honor, so now he's my problem child. I thought, well, you know, he's not being very aggressive. Maybe I can keep Josephine in the tank. Maybe they'll be okay together. Maybe I can move Comet over here. Tried that. No. No. Eli immediately went up to him, started pushing him around, and I was like, why do you have to be difficult? Why? So then I moved Comet back, and I thought, well, I could put Lucy back in there, but I don't want to do that because she'll just have more swim bladder issues, and she's a lot worse than Josephine is. So I thought that's not going to work. Could move my butterfly tank around, could put him in there with them. Thought, no, that probably won't work either. He's a whole lot bigger than them, and that's just not a good idea. I like the way that tank is right now, and I'm not changing it. So my final decision was to put Josephine back. That's exactly what I did. Eli came up to her and then swam off. That's all. He didn't have an issue. So now we're back to the way it was. You know, this video did not go as planned, but I think it did show the personalities of fish. These goldfish all act differently, and sometimes you can't put them with other fish that they don't like. So they're just like humans. They like some people and they don't. And apparently Eli doesn't like anybody but Josephine. So that's cool. If Josephine starts having issues more so in the future, I'll have to figure out something. I don't know what that would be. I would probably have to rehome the fantail and, you know, put Night back in there and switch it that way. I don't want to, but I'm the least, I hate to say it, but I'm the least attached to them. I would never rehome Josephine. Josephine was my first goldfish that I you know, purchased after Johnny passed away, and there's nothing that I would give for her. I mean, she's always gonna be with me. You know, when it comes to Night, I've had people that's wanted to buy him, and I've had people that are very interested in him and breeding him and so on, but I don't think I will. And if I do decide at some point, there's only one person that he would go to, and Joe, you know who you are. That's the only person that I would consider taking him if I did decide to part with him. But for right now, we're just gonna keep it the way it has been for several months, and you know, that's pretty much all I can do. I'm not gonna put any of the fish at risk, or, you know, stress them out, or, you know, I like happy fish, and they weren't happy. So I mean, Josephine was fine in there. She got along with all of the fish. I never had issues with her. They never bullied her. But, you know, I thought she may swim better here. Which she doesn't. I mean, she doesn't have a big problem. It's just every once in a while she does. But I just thought it would be better for her. But I think she would rather be there too. She's always been there. She's been there since I purchased her last January, and that's just her home, and I guess she's just gonna stay there. So that's the way this is gonna be. Didn't turn out as planned, but that's alright. Happens. In fish keeping, you have to roll with the punches, and oh well. I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless, even though it didn't turn out as expected. But anyway, I'll see y'all next time.